Hey everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing a good old-fashioned get ready with me, but I'm going to be incorporating a bunch of stuff that I got from Boxycharm over the past year or so. Not every single thing that I'm using today is from Boxycharm, but most of the stuff is. Some of this stuff is like new to me. I've only used it a couple of times. I may have gotten it in boxyluxe a couple weeks ago. And then some of this stuff I may have just not picked it up in a while, or I'm using it for the very first time. So this is the completed look. I'm going to show y'all how I did it using a bunch of stuff from Boxycharm. So let's jump right into it. Sounds like they're doing construction right on top of my head, and it's very annoying. But anyway, I typically don't use foundation primer, but I am going to use one today. This is the No Poreblem primer from Touch and Soul, and I'm pretty sure we got this one back in December. I'm going to make sure that I put in my description bar during what month we got all of these products, because some of them I can't remember. So I'll try to remember to say it as I go along, but just in case, I'll have it in my description bar. I don't really do foundation primer. I just don't think it makes a difference, but I do really like this one. And as a matter of fact, sometimes I wear this one when I'm not wearing foundation. I'll put some of this like just in my T-zone and maybe like set it with a little bit of powder. But today, like sometimes I use it kind of like just to use it up, but like I said, I don't think it makes a difference. But if you are into primer, I think this one does create like a nice smooth base. So again, this is from Touch and Soul, the No Poreblem primer. Now, Boxycharm does not give us complexion products, foundation or concealer. So I'm going to be using my Fenty concealer today. I'm using this one for today because I'm just trying to pan it and finish it off. And then I'm going to be using my Too Faced Born This Way concealer. So for this one, I'm mixing the shades 340 and 380. And then in the Too Faced concealer, I am in the shade Mocha. So how do y'all feel about Boxycharm giving us foundation and concealer? Do you think they should start doing that, or do you think it'll be too hard to do that because they might send us the wrong shade? I kind of feel like I actually would like to get foundation and concealer from Boxycharm, but I would rather them, instead of giving us like a full size product, because I don't want a chance I get in a full size foundation and I can't use it. I would say maybe like give us 2 or 3 sample sizes and let us like pick our preferences, and then maybe give us like some samples, you know, so that you're not wasting a whole lot of product. But I would like to see Boxycharm at least try to give us some complexion products. I think that would be nice. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on my foundation and concealer today because they're not Boxycharm products. So I'm probably just going to skip through a lot of this. Okay, so I have my foundation and concealer on. So the next Boxycharm product is from Pretty Vulgar, and this is the Powder Room Matte About It Translucent Setting Powder. This is the packaging here. I actually forgot that I had this when I first got it. I'm pretty sure we got this one in December too. And when I first got it, I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about this because I couldn't tell when I first got it if it was more on the yellow side or more on the beigey side. So I hope you can see that. I actually think this powder is more of like an off-white, like beigey color. So I think that I can use it. I can't really do like yellowy, like banana type powders, but I think this one I will be able to use. This will actually be my first time using this powder, so we'll see. I'm gonna take the same sponge that I used to apply my foundation, and I have to be very careful when I set my under eye because this area of my face gets like super dry, so I always feel like I'm applying too much powder. But I've noticed when I use a damp sponge to apply the powder, that seems to work a little bit better. And I used to not ever do that because I used to always think, well, it's powder, like it's meant to be used dry. But I do get a better outcome when I apply it with a damp sponge. I guess just because that's adding a little more moisture to that area. So yeah, I do think that this one is very translucent. I don't see like any like yellowness going on my face. So far so good with this powder. The foundation, the Fenty foundation, I don't set this particular one because any foundation that I have that has like a soft matte finish, I just feel like they set on their own and they really don't need to be set with a powder. So now we're going to move on to the brows. Let me know what y'all think about getting like sponges in Boxycharm too, because I think they're pretty good at giving us brushes, but I don't ever recall getting like a sponge from Boxycharm. So I've never tried like the actual Beauty Blender sponge. This one is from Sonia Kashuk. I love this sponge, and I've tried a bunch of other like drugstore sponges, but I think it'd be nice to get some sponges from Boxycharm too. So let me know what y'all think about that. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the brows, and this is the iconic London eyebrow cushion, and I have the color medium. So I did try this on in the unboxing video. That's what the color looks like, and this thing here was kind of driving me crazy, but I am gonna use the brush side of it to just gently brush through my brows. I actually like the softness of this spoolie, but this whole thing is just like too short, and to me it's like very awkward to use. I'm gonna take an angled liner brush. This is from e.l.f. and I'm gonna use this along with the brow cushion. This really isn't an ideal brush for this, but it's really like the best one that I have. I just need something with a longer handle. So what I'm gonna do is just dip into both of those shades and try to pick up like equal amounts of both. When I did the unboxing video, I thought the darker shade was just too dark on my brows. So I'm gonna mix the two shades together now. And I'm just gonna start by trying to fill in all of the sparse areas of my brows. And I like starting kind of like in the middle of the brow and then working my way back to the tail and then going back to the front. I don't think I'm very good at brows in general, and I think I'm definitely not good with using this thing. So I know I'm not going to be satisfied with my brows today, but I guess I can go back and clean them up with concealer if I feel the need to. And this product costs $40. I wouldn't buy this for $40. I do actually, I like the product. I like the brow product, but I mean, I do feel like $40 is kind of steep for this. So I'm just brushing back through them again. I always feel like when you brush through the brow after you fill it in, it softens it even more. And then I'm gonna try, and I don't really like the way the front of the brow looks, so I'm gonna see if I can just clean it up just a little bit. Okay, I usually don't like cleaning up my brows with concealer because I feel like it looks just a little bit more natural when you don't do that, but I don't know if you can tell, but I had to do that today because I'm still just struggling with trying to learn how to use this product, so I just was not satisfied with my brows at all. But after like 10-15 minutes of dealing with that, now we're finally going to move on to the next product. So we're going to do the eye makeup next. So the next Boxycharm product is the Luscious Angel Eyes Eyeshadow Primer and Base. I believe this comes in different shades because this one is in the shade Nude. So this one is actually a lot lighter than my skin tone, but that's actually a good thing because I like using pretty light concealers or primers on my lid. I am going to go in with another concealer that's not from Boxycharm, but I'm going to start with this one. Now, the one thing I don't like about this product is there's really no type of like applicator on it. I really wish that this one had like a brush applicator like the LA Girl concealers. So I think it's just like an extra step putting this on, because I guess you could just put it on your finger and swipe it on your lid, but I like to put it on a brush and then put it on my lid, whereas other concealers or primers that I use, they have an actual applicator or a brush. So it's really not an extra step doing this, but in my mind I just feel like it is. So anyway, I'm just gonna pat this on my lid area. And I'm also going to use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. This one is not from Boxycharm. This one is in the shade Chestnut. And I'm going to use this closer to my brow bone. I like using two different concealers up here. I like for the one that I'm using closer to my brow bone to be closer to my skin color. And then whatever I put on my lid, I like for that to be just a bit lighter. And then I'm just going to blend this one out as well. Since I'm usually doing like softer colors up here, I just feel like I want a softer primer or concealer up here too. Alright, and next product from Boxycharm, this is from Crown Pro brushes. This is their, I think it's just called the Crown Pro eyeshadow palette. So this is what it looks like. I actually had an issue with this palette when I first got it. Mine looked like it was just thrown together, and then when I opened it, I believe it might have been this shade here. One of the shades was just completely broken up, and it fell all over my clothes, all over everything. So Boxycharm did replace it for me, but when I got the replacement, I just never used it. So this is going to be my first time using this palette today. And I think I'm going to start off with this shade here. I think I'm going to pack that all over my lid. And this one looks like a nice, almost like a deep rose gold shade. So since I've never used this palette before, I'm going to start off applying it dry and see how pigmented it is. And I think that's pigmented enough, so I'm not going to bother with wetting the shadow. I think it looks really nice and foiled. I'm gonna start trying to learn how to do like halo eyes and, you know, just different looks on my eyes. I feel like I do pretty much the same technique all the time, and I just change up the colors, but I want to start learning how to do like different techniques on my eyes. That's a really pretty color. I really like that. Okay, I think I'm gonna do this shade here. I'm gonna place that on the outer corner of my lid. So I'm just using that same brush and turning it over. This is the M167 brush. And I'm just going to pack that on the outer part of the lid. I think I'm going to try a little bit of this bright shade up here. This one looks like a very soft shimmer shade. Not necessarily a matte, but it's definitely not as shimmery as this one. I think I'm going to take a little bit of that and place it on my lid as well, kind of like right in the center, just to brighten up that area just a little bit. And just add a little dimension on the lid area. I'm gonna take this dark, it looks like a purplish brownish shade here. I'm not really good at explaining colors, but I'm gonna take this shade here and I'm gonna concentrate that like right in the crease area, just to add like a little bit of dimension right up in here. So I'm just like blending it like right where all of the other shades stop. And I'm concentrating most of it on the outer part of the lid, but I am dragging some of it inward too. And I'm gonna take this shade here and I'm gonna just use that to diffuse the whole look and kind of like buff it out. So this is kind of gonna overlap the last shade that I just put on. I'm gonna go back into this shade here and I'm gonna concentrate that on the outer part of the lower lash line. And I'm just using an angled liner brush and I'm just gonna pat it right on the lower lash line, kind of like only maybe like a third of the way. I don't like putting shadow all over my lower lash line because I just have so many like lines and wrinkles down there, and I just think it looks worse when I put eyeshadow all over that area. Okay, and I'm gonna pick up this is my M506 brush. So this is the brush that I use to apply that last shade up on my lid without picking up any additional product. I'm just gonna buff on this outer area up here. And I'm just like connecting the top to the bottom. So I don't want to add any extra shadow, but I just kind of want to move the shadow around a little bit so that it connects to the bottom. All right, so we're gonna finish up with the eyes a little bit later on. Now we're gonna move on to some bronzer. And I did use this product in the unboxing video and I've used it every day since then. This is the Cover FX Perfector Face Palette, and this is the one for medium deep skin tones. This is the packaging here, and this is the actual palette. I know a lot of people got palettes that they cannot use. Some people with very fair skin tones got this one, and then people with very deep skin tones got the I think it's called the Fair Light palette, I believe. And I'm just so sad that some people, well, a lot of people apparently got a palette that they cannot use, because I love this thing. I love it so much. I've been using it like crazy since I did that unboxing video. So we're gonna start off with a little bit of bronzer. So this shade here is meant to be a contour, but I've been using it as a bronzer, and that's what I'm gonna use today. So I'm just gonna start off on my cheek area, and I'm just applying this right above the hollows of my cheek. And I like this as a bronzer because I think it's a bit more of a warm tone shadow, and it has like a little hint of red in it, I think, which I think those types of brown shades, they work better as bronzers as opposed to contours. I'm putting a little bit of this on my jawline as well. And then I'm also putting some on my forehead area. And switching brushes, I'm gonna put a little bit of this same shade on my nose. And I like dragging this all the way up to my brow. And I always feel like I carve my nose out too much because I like it to be like a very soft contour. So I like to take whatever I use to apply my foundation and just go right back over where I just carved out the nose, and I feel like that just softens it a little bit. Now we're gonna use, I'm sticking with the same palette, but I'm gonna use this shade in here. This one is meant to be a finishing powder, but I have been using this as a blush. And prior to me using this, I was using Note Cosmetics, my compact blusher, which is another Boxycharm product, by the way. I'll show it to you guys. since it is from Boxycharm. So this is the blush that I used to use like crazy, and I really, really love this blush. However, I like this as a blush better than the Note Cosmetics. So I'm going to just sweep this over my cheeks and kind of like make it overlap my bronzer just a little bit. But this particular color is a lot more orangey. It's more like almost like a burnt orange color, as opposed to the Note Cosmetics one. It's more of like a peachy shade, and this one has just a very little hint of glow to it as well. But I really like this one. Like, this is making me want to buy like more like orangey tone blushes as opposed to peachy ones. I really like the way that that blush looks on me. I think it looks natural, but it still looks nice. I just like it. Okay, and also sticking with this palette, I'm gonna now go into my highlighter, and I'm gonna stick with this shade over here. This shade is really nice. I do think it's kind of subtle, and it's like a little hard to apply, but if you apply like a good amount of it to make it show up, it does look really nice. But I'm gonna stick with this shade over here. This is the one that I've been using most days lately, so I'm gonna stick with this as my highlight shade. And I like applying the highlighter with a duo fiber brush. Funny thing about this brush and a couple of others that I used today, I did a video on my favorite makeup brushes, and I feel like right after I did that video, I changed up some of the brushes that I considered my favorite before I did that video. But I've been using this, the duo fiber brush, for my highlighter because I feel like I like the way that it disperses the product better. It doesn't like apply it in just like a straight line, so it looks a lot more natural, I guess. And I also like using this brush on my underneath the arch of my brow. It's a very big brush to use right here. I used to use a fan brush right here, but I like the way that this big brush disperses the highlighter like down my lid. I think I like that way better than it being like concentrated right under my arch. And I'm gonna use this shade in the middle. It's called a brightener, but I feel like it's just a highlighter like the other two. But I'm gonna use that to highlight my inner corner on my eyes. And I'm making sure that I'm blending this shade back into the shade that's on my lid. I prefer to do that than to just plop it like right in the inner corner. So it looks like it's transitioning from that inner corner shade to the lid shade. All right, this is not a Boxycharm product. I don't think I have any setting spray from Boxycharm. I know some people got a Tarte spray like a couple months ago, but I got the other variation of that box. So I'm gonna go ahead and set everything with the Maybelline Master Fix spray. All right, I went ahead and put some eyeliner on off camera. This is the NYX Matte Liquid Liner in black. This is not a Boxycharm product. So when I was putting the liner on, I messed up and put on more than I wanted to. And then I tried to fix it and make it match on the other eye, and I feel like I messed it up even more. But anyway, the eyeliner is on, and we're gonna move on to the next Boxycharm product. This is a mascara from, I believe it's pronounced Grande Cosmetics, and it's their Lash Boosting formula. So I never use this just because I'm so used to using my Lancome mascara. So I just never picked this up. So I'm gonna do one. Oh, this formula feels like the Lancome mascara, so this is promising. Let me show you guys what the brush looks like. I'm gonna do one eye on camera, then I'll do the other off camera because it takes me a long time to put mascara on. I don't wear falsies, so it usually takes me a minute to do the mascara. So I'll do one on camera. But I will say, if this mascara doesn't like look as good as I want it to look, I probably will go over it with something else, but I'm just going to try this one for now, just because I've never tried it before. Wow, this is looking and feeling quite promising. This is actually a softer formula than the Lancome mascara. Wow, I really like this so far. I think this actually looks better than the Lancome mascara so far. Wow, I'm surprised. The only thing is it's so soft, I'm wondering if it's gonna like flake or something during the day. Wow, I really like that mascara. That looks really nice. Let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna do the other one off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, so the mascara is on and let me know what y'all think. I am just like blown away at this mascara. This is better than the Lancome mascara. I don't know how it's gonna wear during the day though, that's the only thing. But this one, the formula of it, it glides on your lashes a lot better than the Lancome one or really any other mascara that I can think of. The formula is a lot softer and a lot more of like a, not necessarily a whipped formula, but it's just like more like soft and buttery, and I'm just blown away at how good I think my top and bottom lashes look. And I like how nice and black it is too. I love this mascara. I love it. Let me know what y'all think. Okay, we're gonna finish everything off with a lipstick from Boxycharm, and I just wore this lipstick in the unboxing video, and for some of these products I was trying to change up and use some things that I haven't touched either in a long time or haven't used at all. But this lipstick, even though I really like it, this is only going to be my second time wearing it since I did the unboxing. And because my eyes are not all that bold today, but I was going to go with like a deeper red. Let me show you the lipstick that I was going to put on. This is from Bite Beauty. And we got this in January. This is their Amuse Bouche lipstick. And this one is in the color Nori. I was gonna put this one on today, but I feel like with my eyes, even though they're not all that bold, I think they'll just look better with a nude lipstick. And I'm actually on my way to an event at church, so I actually don't want my makeup to be like too bold anyway. So I'm gonna go in with this Becca lipstick. This is called their Becca Lipstick Love, and this one is in the color Soufflé. That's what this one looks like. I'm gonna finish everything off with this. I really like this color. This was another variation product that we got from boxyluxe in March, and unfortunately a lot of people got shades that they didn't like. So I think I just really lucked out on boxyluxe in March. It's like all of the products that were variations, I got a variation that I really liked. So again, this one is in the color Soufflé. Some people got another like nudie color. It was like some kind of chocolate shade that was really pretty too. But this is like a really nice everyday shade for me. This is a really nice soft lipstick. It smells really good too, and it's just nice and comfortable on the lips. Okay, I feel like I can't get my hair to do what I want it to do, but anyway, this is the finished look for today using a bunch of Boxycharm products. If you want some more information on Boxycharm, I will leave some links in my description bar. I really hope that y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up so that I will know, and I really hope to see y'all back for my next one. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.